Hello, welcome to the Caffeinated Cast-Ons YouTube channel. I am Therese, also known as Caffeinated Cast-Ons. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining in if this is your first time. If you are a regular, thanks for coming back each week. My name is Therese. I am based in North Texas and I've been knitting a little more than 3 years now, and this is just my YouTube channel where I share my making. Think of it as a video version of Ravelry project pages. I've got my coffee. This is my second coffee of today, and it's much needed. I just woke up from a nap. So I need a little afternoon pick-me-up. It is the afternoon. I've kind of already jumped into it, but let's jump into it. It is Sunday, August 25th. I've got something in my eye. You can find me on Instagram as @CaffeinatedCastOns. Join me over there. You'll catch bits and pieces of my making there, just little things on stories. If you are new, for the month of August, I've been kind of unintentionally clearing my needles. That's kind of been the theme of this month. This is the least amount of works in progress that I've had on my needles for quite some time. I'm also on the tail end of summer sock camp, which I've got a finished object to show you today. So we've got a lot. So grab your knitting, crochet, making, whatever it is you've got, your beverage of choice, and we'll get into it. First up is a finished object. And I don't think I showed these last week because I think I was almost done with them. Right, yeah. And I just finished these maybe the next day or 2 days after last week's episode came out. But yeah, I've got a pair of vanilla socks, and these are my last pair that I am knitting towards summer sock camp, which is a make-along hosted by the Crazy Sock Lady. We're in I think this is the last week, right? Yeah, because it ends August, the last day of August. So this pair was so fun, and I think like the perfect last pair to end on. I did work these on 9-inch circulars, size US 1, and I did a couple of things different for this sock. I usually do a bit of a thicker cuff. For this one, I only did 10 rounds of 2x2 ribbing. I wanted to try out a shorter cuff. I think I would have liked it more if I did a shorter leg. Not that this doesn't work, it still does, but I think the leg needed to be shorter. I probably would have been more comfortable or liked it more with maybe 15 rounds because I have done 15 rounds and I do like that. Not a big deal. These are for me. I did 50 rounds on the leg, did a heel flap and gusset with some stash yarn. You can kind of tell that the heels don't quite match just because I did run out of yarn on this one over here. And then did the foot and continued on. And then once I got to the toe, that is where I switched from the 9-inch circular to magic loop to finish the toe. And I like that it still kept like that micro striping. So this was on La Bien-Aimée, hand-dyed in Paris. And this is on her Merino Super Sock, which is 75 superwash merino and 25% nylon in the colorway Air Guitar. So it was super fun. I really loved this color. I think this yarn for my stash to complement the heel flap was perfect. You can really see the pops of yellow. Oh yeah, you can really see them on this one. But yeah, I loved the color so much. I liked seeing what the pooling was doing. whenever I was doing the gusset decreases, and then it did pick back up in stripes, a little bit looser on the foot, but I love it. These are so fun. I might block these just to see if I can loosen up the cuff a little bit. I typically don't block my vanilla socks, but I think I just want to loosen that up just a little bit, which reminds me. So I've noticed lately, well, not lately, I've just chosen now to pay attention to it. Just about all of my socks have superwash merino, and so I can stick them in the washer or dryer. I know everyone's different with how they want to wash and care for their socks. Me, I'm fine sticking them in the washer and dryer. I used to just stick them only in the washer and hang dry them. I got lazy as I've gotten more pairs of socks to add to my collection, so I'm fine with that. But the colors fade, and I don't know if that's because machine washing or just over time, if it's my, like, I don't know. And I know you can use a color catcher in the washer, like that way the yarn doesn't bleed into like other yarns and your other clothes if you're washing it with other clothes. But I wonder if that will also prevent the fading. I don't think so. So if you've got any tips on fading, I would love to know. Worst case scenario, that's just to me a sign that I'm using them and wearing them, and I can always knit more socks. It's not the worst thing, but it makes me sad because some of the colors start out so vibrant and then they just lose that, you know? Yeah, so if you've got any tips for washing your hand knit socks, let me know. So that is my one finished object for this week. Next, I've got a work in progress to show you, and this is my Calii Vada Sha by Casey Knits. I have been working on this for a while, and I'm so close to finishing. I am in the last 2 repeats, I think. Well, I'm gonna say 1.5, close to 1.5 repeats. And this is a little tangled. But here is my little progress keeper. I've got a little Texas here. And that's where I was last week. And so got a decent amount done. I didn't pick this up as much as I wanted to. Well, I take that back. I don't want to say not as much as I wanted to last week. I got distracted. And I'll show you with what here in a little bit. But I wish I would have picked this up more to knit on it more and get more progress, just because I am so close to being done with this. And it is like, it's going to be a pretty good size, especially whenever I block it, and it has a rib texture, so it's going to stretch. Yep. So that is my work in progress for this week. I am knitting this on size US 4 needles, which is 3.5 millimeters. That is what the pattern calls for, I'm pretty sure. Typically I'll size up because I am a bit of a tighter knitter. I'll go up usually just about 1 needle size, but for this I just stuck to what the pattern called for. Since it is a shawl, I'm not too concerned about it not being as big. So it's okay. That's just what I went with. And then I am knitting this out of Mace of Skeins in the club fingering base, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And the red is Rodeo Queen. And then the speckled brown, I don't know, red, brown, speckled one is Dirty Cowboy. And these colors are so beautiful. Like, seriously, they're so good. And I love how they're knitting up together. Yeah, I'm curious to see how much of this yarn I'm going to have left over. I would love to put these like either in a sock or do something else. I've only got 1 skein of it. This is just a 2 skein project. So hopefully I have a little bit left to do something fun with, because I just love the colors and the texture so much. Oh, mess. Like, they look so good together. Yeah. So that is my work in progress for the week. Okay. I do have a new cast on. I'm not going to show you what it is quite yet, because last episode I said that I did have 2 sweater quantities of some yarn, and I wasn't sure what I was going to make with them. Both had patterns that I had already picked out for them. One of them, I definitely knew I wasn't going to do that pattern that I originally bought it for. So I have been looking for other patterns to use that yarn for. I fell out of love with that yarn, honestly, for a little bit. And I thought about destashing it, but it's growing on me again. I'll show you that in here in a second. And then the other yarn, I was second guessing the pattern because there's just been so many other things I've been tempted to cast on, but I did cast something on with it. And I ended up casting on a new project. Let me show you the 2 yarns first, and then I'll reveal what I'm actually working on. So the first yarn is this Hedgehog Fibers Tweedy, and this is 100% wool. It is, well, not 100%. I mean, yes, it is, but so it is 50% Falkland merino wool, 37.5% recycled wool, and then 12.5% Hedgehog Fibers thread waste. And that thread waste is what is making the tweed. And it's so fun because, like, since it's just scraps, it's just no 2 skeins are alike. So I had a sweater quantity of this, and just the colorway Tweedy. So this is like the OG. I think they have it like on a pale pink. I don't remember the colorway name. I think it's like on a darker gray charcoal, maybe a black. It's been really popular. I bought it, gosh, I don't even know how long ago. It's been a while. And yeah. And then the other yarn I have to choose from is Brooklyn Tweed Loft. And this is in the colorway Caribou. And this is, I want to say this is 100% wool as well. American Targhee Columbia wool. I think that's how you say it. Targhee, because like ghee as in, yeah, I think that's correct. And this is like a brownish, grayish, marled. So these are the 2 yarns that I had to choose from. And this is actually the yarn I almost fell out of love with. And because I just don't know if the color would look good on me. Originally, I bought this for, I think it was the Everyday Shawl is what it's called, by Andrea Mowry. And I was going to make that for myself, but I just didn't think I was actually going to wear it as much as I thought I was going to. Yeah. And then, so first I kind of fell out of love with the pattern, and then I started falling out of love with the yarn because I just didn't know if this would look good on my skin. Depending on like the brown or tan, it washes me out, and I just don't like that. But I have been working on a magic knot ball. And so what that is like any yarn scraps that I have that have a decent amount, like maybe 5 grams minimum, I'd taken and been turning it into a magic knot ball. Well, that magic knot ball recently hit 100 grams. And so I caked it up. Look how beautiful it is. I love it so much. There's just so much different yarn in there. So I caked it up, and this has made me fall in love with this, because if I held this together, this is just a fingering weight, I think. Yeah, fingering weight. I'm thinking about holding this together And that could be, like, just the thought of this together gets me so excited. But I don't know the pattern yet. I still have a few ideas. I need to go through my Ravelry. I've saved a few ideas because this is all fingering weight and then this is fingering weight. I think I have might have 6 skeins of this. But yeah, just the thought of those together gets me so excited. But since this is only 100 grams, I need to build up multiple magic knot balls. So this, who knows when this will be. But I think that is the plan for this yarn. I have started another magic knot ball. I think it might be 30 grams at this point, but it's still going to be a while. This is 275 yards. I don't know how many grams. But yeah, so that's the plan for this yarn. As you can probably guess from that, this is the yarn that I have cast on a new project with. So let me show you that project. This is the bag my new project is in. I got this at Fiber Fest, and this is a bag by Whimsy Stitches Designs. And I just loved it so much. Love that there's a strap. It's very big and has a zipper. And I cast on the Novice Cardigan Chunky Edition by Petite Knit. This is my first cardigan. What else can I preface this with? It is the Chunky Edition. I think there's like a regular version of it, mohair, and then I did the chunky. And I am using that Hedgehog Fibers yarn. So this is knit from the top down, and this is an almost finished yoke. Am I holding it the right way? Yeah. It's a little hard to show because I haven't separated for sleeves yet. But I am so excited. Look at all the fun colors of the tweed. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. Oh, my hair got a little messed up. Okay, so a couple of stats about this. Like I mentioned, I'm making the Chunky Edition, and the the Hedgehog Fibers is a DK, right? I want to say it is DK because that would make sense. But it is, these are 100 gram skeins with 230 meters per 100 grams. Yeah, this is a DK. And I am holding this double. I can't remember what the pattern, oh, just kidding, I have it. I think the pattern calls for an Aran and a lace weight to get bulky, I want to say. Crap, did I just show the pattern? No. We do not do that here. But anyways, so I am holding this double, and what I have done to do that, because there's a couple ways you can hold things double. You could pull from you can use one skein and pull from the center and the outer part and hold it double that way. What I am doing is I've caked up 2 skeins and I'm pulling from both, and that is what is getting my held double. I am almost done with the yoke. More stats. I am knitting this on a size US 10.5, which is a 6.5 millimeter. I forget what the pattern calls for. I did a US size 10 for the collar ribbing, and I'll do that for the ribbing on like the hem and the cuffs. And I am making these size large. but I'm very excited about that. It is starting to take shape. I have, I think, a couple of inches left on length of the yoke, and then I'm done, and then I can split for sleeves and work on the body. I cast this on Tuesday night this past week, and like it's a quick knit, so yeah, I've knit a lot to be almost done with the yoke. At least that's for me anyways, my normal knitting pace. I feel like this is pretty fast, especially since of the thicker weight. So that has been super exciting. And I've been really excited to work on this. I've never done a cardigan before. It is a lot easier than I thought. I would say the most annoying part is that you can't knit it in the round. You do have to knit flat, so it's a lot of turning after each row, so you do have to purl. So if purling's not your thing, this probably isn't the pattern for you. But I'm still enjoying it just because it does knit up so quickly. Get all my pieces back in there. So that was my new cast on. I was supposed to pick up and work on an Afghan square. Clearly I did not do that since I cast on the new project, but that is okay. I was really itching to just cast on something new, and I really wanted to use one of those sweater quantities. And so yeah, I am just super pleased with that decision. I have plenty of time to knit that too before it gets chillier here in Texas. So there's not a rush, but it's satisfying that it knits up quick. So that's what I worked on this week. Let's talk about goals that I have with those projects. I would like to get in another repeat on my Calii Vada Sha. I think probably 2 weeks I'll have it done. Realistically, I did want to finish it in August. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll most likely get finished probably in the first week of September, just because of the pace I'm going at. We'll see. I'm so tempted just to knit nonstop on that cardigan. But I am trying to make sure I focus on going towards the Calivada Shawl first and picking that up first and knitting on that. But realistically, it's not going to get done in August. And that's okay. And then goal number 2 is to get halfway through the body on the cardigan. That kind of negates the first thing that I just said, since I do want to pick up the shawl more, but it is bulky, so it is knitting up super fast, and I'm really almost done with the yoke and split for sleeves, so that could very much be a possibility. I'm just knitting what I enjoy right now, and yeah, that's what we're going with. And then I won't be casting on any more socks for summer sock camp because that ends this upcoming week. So yeah, I will. Next episode will probably include a recap of all the socks that I've knit for summer sock camp, since it does end at the end of next week. So that will probably be included in next week's episode if you're curious, and don't feel like going back in other episodes to see what socks I've worked on during summer sock camp. Yeah. Okay, let's close her on up with 3 simple joys. If you are new, at the end of each episode, I just list off 3 different random things that have been bringing me joy over the past week. So simple joy number 1, I got to go see my best friend. She just had a baby, and I got to, 1, see my best friend and her husband, and 2, meet the cutest little baby. So it's super excited. She had a daughter, and it just blows my mind. Like, she has a daughter. I'm so happy for her. But I had knit the Holger. I forgot the name of the sweater. I knit a Holger sweater for her, and so I got to gift it to her. Yeah, so I don't know when she's gonna fit into that. I did knit it the 3 to 6 month size, I believe. And so that way she has room to grow in it into the coming cold months later this year. So it was just so special to be able to meet her and gift her that sweater. Simple joy number 2, I went to the movies by myself for the first time ever. I went and saw Coraline because it's like the 15-year anniversary of it, and it was playing in theaters and I wanted to go see it, and so I went to the movies by myself. I enjoyed it to an extent. Like, I liked the being by myself, picking my popcorn, my drink, like all that experience. Like, it was very nice. But the theater I was in was super hot, and that was not nice, especially because 1, it's already hot here in Texas right now, but 2, it's like a Halloween-y spooky movie, and I was expecting the theater to be freezing and like set the vibe for the movie, and that was just not the case. Like, towards the last like maybe 20-30 minutes, like multiple people are like, I can see out of my peripherals, are like fanning themselves. I'm like rummaging in my purse to fan myself. That part of the experience was not fun, but the concept of like going to the movies by myself was fun. So that's a repeat for sure. Like excuse me, I really enjoyed it, so that was fun. And then simple joy number 3, this past week, okay, so it's been so hot here in Texas. I used to be pretty good about going for a walk daily, just taking myself out, especially during, like as a break during the workday, because I do work from home. But it's been so hot and I haven't been able to do that, but I went for a walk this past week as long as I could bear it. Like, you gotta go earlier in the morning because it's hot. We're in the middle of a drought. Like, it's not a fun experience to be outside right now. But I really enjoyed that walk. I really needed it, and it was really good. Yeah, so those are my simple joys for this past week. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode this week on my making. Linked down below, you will find the Ravelry project pages on the projects that I talked about. What else is down there? There is a guide on how to use the Ravelry advanced search. I made it myself, and you can use that if you're new to Ravelry. This is not the coffee. Oh, I meant to get a coffee bag. I got a new coffee in the mail this week. Typically, I drink hot coffee, and I got a new bag. I'll show it next week if I can remember, but it's really good. I just do a Trade Coffee Co. subscription. There is a link down below. I think you get either the first bag free or a percentage off the first bag. It's not sponsored. Everyone gets like a shareable like link type thing, like refer a friend. So if you want to use that, if you're a coffee person like me, feel free to use that. Yeah, that's it. So next week, come back. We'll do a summer sock camp, finished object recap. We'll see more progress on the cardigan and the shawl. I don't expect any more new cast-ons. I still like to keep it relatively low on my needles right now. And then probably, I don't know if next week or the week after, we'll start talking details for DFW Fiberfest. So that's what you can look forward to. And until next time, stay caffeinated.